Hi, I'm Ellen Munschauer.
And I'm Maya Christensen. Welcome back to Johnnie Bennie Campus News. We'll start off today's episode by going straight to Lauren Lefebvre with Headline News.
Thanks, Maya. Welcome back to Headline News. Here are the top news stories you need to know to help you stay up to date during your busy school week. First, at the state capitol, a bill was moved forward that could resolve a dispute over handgun policies for off-duty police officers. It's an issue that erupted in 2014 when the Minneapolis Police Union sued after the NFL banned guns at stadiums for everyone except officers who are working the event. The bill would allow armed off-duty officers into any public venues regardless of their gun policies. Senator Bill Ingebrigtsen presented the bill to the Judiciary Committee Tuesday. In support of this new bill, Dennis Flaherty, leader of the Minnesota Police and Peace Officers Association, argues that officers have their guns with them at all times and forcing them to remove them before going into a public place can put them and the public in danger, stating that they may see someone they've previously arrested or had a run-in with in the past. He also brought up the recent case at the Crossroads Center shopping mall, where an off-duty police officer stopped an attacker who had already stabbed multiple shoppers. Flaherty said that if this attacker had not been encountered by the trained, armed, off-duty police officer who was capable of confronting him, the attacker would certainly have harmed or killed many more people. Some committee members still unsure about this bill are attempting to amend the bill so that venues are required to have off-duty officers sign in with their name and badge number to allow them to have their handgun in public places when off-duty. The bill has now moved onto the Senate floor, and a companion bill is also making its way through the House. Second, Mexican federal police rescued 31 Cubans being held in captivity in the Mexican city of Benito Juarez in the southern state of Quintana Roo. According to a federal police statement, the 22 men and 9 women were held in overcrowded conditions inside a home. The victim said a group of hooded and armed individuals kept them in captivity and demanded money in exchange for being released. The immigrants said they lacked documents to prove their legal status in the country. Benito Juarez is in southeast Mexico on the Caribbean, about 300 miles from Havana. While it was not clear whether the Cubans had hoped to stay in Mexico or were in the country as a transit point, Cuban migrants leaving economic struggles in their homeland have flooded Central America and specifically Mexico in recent years with the goal of eventually reaching the United States. And lastly, a new federal analysis reveals that millions of Americans are in default on federal direct loans, but Minnesotans have a better track record than the national average. New data released by the U.S. Department of Education shows that more than 1.1 million Americans have defaulted in 2016. Default is when someone goes 270 days without making a payment and hasn't made any payment arrangements. Larry Poggemiller, the commissioner of the Minnesota Office of Higher Education, said, "Minnesota is the 9th lowest in the amount of defaults we have. So, with that being said, people tend to pay back their debt in Minnesota. Our rate is about 8.8% default, and the national average is closer to 12%. That's it for this week. Join us next week for more Headline News. This was Lauren Lefebvre reporting for Johnnie Bennie Campus News. Back to you, Maya.
Thanks, Lauren. Before we get into campus news, we'll go to Zach Eichten with our political segment.
Thanks, Maya. 2 weeks ago, the Republican replacement for Obamacare, titled the American Health Care Act, was unveiled by Speaker of the House Paul Ryan. The plan repeals many parts of Obamacare but keeps other aspects. In the Republican replacement, the individual mandate, which under Obamacare requires people to have insurance or pay a fine, is repealed. In addition, the employer mandate, where large employers are penalized for not providing affordable insurance through their job, will also be repealed. One more notable part that will be repealed are subsidies for out-of-pocket expenses that helped lower-income Americans pay deductibles or co-payments. The replacement plan also changes options for health savings accounts, known as HSAs. Those who use an HSA will be able to put more money in these tax-free accounts for individual and family use. Restrictions on charging older Americans more than younger Americans for health insurance may also change under this plan. Under Obamacare, insurance plans can charge older customers 3 times as much as younger customers. Under the replacement plan, they would be able to charge older customers 5 times as much as younger customers. Some parts of Obamacare are being kept, such as coverage for dependents under a parent's plan until age 26. pre-existing conditions policies that bars the companies from charging more based on a person's health history, essential health benefits like maternity leave and preventative care, and the prohibition on annual or lifetime limits of health coverage by insurers. The plan is being protested from both sides of the aisle, with Democrats upset about how much of a repeal the plan is, and Republicans in the Freedom Caucus upset that the plan does not repeal enough. In addition, stakeholders like the American Association of Retired People are upset that coverage for older Americans would become more expensive. The Congressional Budget Office, a nonpartisan entity attached to Congress, estimates that in 2 years, 14 million people could lose health care coverage under the plan, with an additional 10 million people losing coverage in the next 10 years. In other news, last Tuesday, some of Donald Trump's tax returns were leaked and reported on by MSNBC and Rachel Maddow. According to the leaked documents, Donald Trump paid $38 million in federal income tax on a reported income of $150 million, a tax rate of 25%. Trump, claiming business losses, was able to write off over $100 million to bring the rate he paid down. Before Maddow's show aired, Trump reverted to his consistent attack on the media and tweeted, "Does anyone really believe that a reporter, who nobody ever heard of, went to his mailbox and found my tax returns? At NBC News, fake news." This is Zach Eichten reporting for JBCN. Back to you, Maya.
Thanks, Zach.
Back on campus this week, there will be a Life After College event in the McEwen Center on Wednesday, March 22nd from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. This is where recent graduates will talk about their personal and professional transition after leaving CSB-SJU.
This week, the McCarthy Center is hosting their 10th annual Scholar in Residence, Amy Holleran. They have 5 events planned with Holleran, including a pancake making class on Tuesday and a sourdough baking class on Wednesday. Check your email for more information. On Friday, March 24th, JEC will be transporting students to the Ninjas United location to compete on the course between 6 to 11 p.m.
This Saturday, March 25th, attend the St. John's Maple Syrup Festival. The festival is entirely outdoors and boots are recommended. The event is free to students and includes sap collecting, syrup cooking, horse-drawn rides, demonstrations, and maple syrup sundaes. The festival begins at 1 p.m. and ends at 4.
For FAE events, this week the CSB-SJU Wind and Jazz Ensemble perform on the 21st at 7:30 p.m., and the quartet of Rainey Arbo and Daisy Mayhem, American Spiritual, will perform on the 25th at 7:30. Tickets are $10 for students.
For sports this week, we go to Austin Salmon, who sat down with the SJU golf coach Bob Alpers at the Alpers Golf Learning Center to discuss the golf simulator.
Hi, I'm Austin Salmon here with Johnnie Bennie Campus News, and today we'll be checking out the new Alpers Golf Center. We'll also be interviewing some team players as well as Coach Bob Alpers. I'm here with 3 members of the SJU golf team, Morgan, Jack, and Sam. So how has this new facility changed up since last offseason to this one?
That's a great question. From last season to this season, it's astonishing. I mean, we went from hitting in baseball nets where we had 5 feet and you didn't know where it was going, and we could do 40-yard pitch shots and some little putting. And with this, it's absolutely astonishing how much better and how much more practice we can get to hone in our game and make us better players.
Now, what is some of the new equipment that you have in this new facility?
So we have 2 bays of simulators here. Both are set up with TrackMan, so we're able to play full rounds and also play practice rounds where we get video analysis of our swings. We can get all the specs, where we lie, where our swing's coming down, which really helps us, in the long run when we're working towards kind of improving our swings in the off season. Other than just the simulators, we have 2 full-size putting greens over there, which is huge. Last winter, we were kind of just putting on carpet, that type of thing, and now we got as realistic of a green as it comes if you're not outside. And then other than that, during practice, we hit in the dome quite a bit, mainly wedge shots, but we're able to see our ball flight on our full swings as well. So just lots of improvement in the golf facility.
So how has this improved you guys' game since last season?
Yeah, so we just got back from spring break in Arizona, and it took us maybe a day to get back into mid-season form. Last year when we came back, it usually takes us about a week to 5 days to really get back to where we feel like we can compete in the fall, and this year it was within 1 or 2 days we were back to the same form we were in the fall.
Well, the facility's unbelievable. I don't think anybody at any level, certainly Division III, and I think this facility surpasses a number of Division I facilities in terms of its versatility and just playability for the guys. In the past, all we had was a putting green that was about this wide and about 6 feet long, and it was warped so bad that anything you hit would go in. So although it helped our confidence, I don't know if it necessarily helped our putting, because we started thinking everything we were going to look at was going to go in. It is the most incredible, versatile practice facility that I've seen for a school at our level.
Now, do students have access to these facilities?
Yeah, they do, and at particular times and particular days of the week. Right now, what we have available for tee times are Monday and Wednesday evenings from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and on Saturdays and Sundays from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. 2 different 2-hour blocks with the 2 bays so they can come in and play. We can accommodate 20-some golfers in an afternoon or in an evening session. It's really easy. All they've got to do is just call the front desk here at the Dome. The number for the front desk at the Dome is 363-2722. The Dome operation hours are noon to about 10 o'clock at night. So if students call any time during that time, they can do that. And you don't have to worry about having golf clubs. You don't have to worry about having golf balls. You don't have to worry about having tees. You can just come here and have a great time. And I really hope, we really hope, my guys, we all really hope that all students get a chance to come on in here, have a blast and enjoy having fun playing golf in the room.
Going back to the SJU golf competitive team, now, are there any similarities between the 2007 and 2008 national championship teams that you can spot out on this year's team?
Well, it's funny that they remind me of those guys a lot. Back in 2007, 2008, we were like these guys. We won everything around here in our home turf, and we continued to slide in the rankings. We started off 8th or 9th, and we just kept sliding back, and we loved it because we said, let's go down there and go ahead and think we're 10th or 12th or 15th. Let's see. We look forward to the challenge of seeing what folks can do. So they remind me. We're talented. We're gritty. We're hardworking, and they're really good guys. I know folks don't necessarily know kids on the golf team, but these guys are good guys. They're awesome guys. I like them.
Thank you so much. I'm Austin Salmon here with Bob Alpers, and this was your sports segment of the week.
That wraps up this week's episode. I'm Ellen.
And I'm Maya.
Reporting for Johnnie Bennie Campus News. Enjoy the rest of your week and make sure to tune in next time.